Hi guys, today we're going to look at how animation blend trees can be used to blend two or more similar animations. We'll see how we can use a simple one-dimensional blend tree to make a character's animation blend between idle, walking and running. Okay, we're going to start with this scene that has a character that can run around based on player input. Currently, we just have a simple animation controller that transitions from idle to running when the character is moving. We created this scene in the earlier videos of our 3D platformer series, so take a look if you want to know how it was done. At the moment, the character looks okay when running at full speed. We run into a problem though when using a gamepad. If we only push the thumbstick a small amount, our character is moving at a fraction of the speed, but the run animation is still playing at full speed. We're going to see how to fix this using a blend tree. First of all, we'll go to the animation folder in the project panel. We'll delete the animation controller for the character so we can start afresh. We'll then right-click and add a new animation controller. We'll call this controller Doozy to match the name of the character. Next, we'll drag this animation controller onto the character in the hierarchy to assign it. We can then double-click the controller to open it in the Animator tab. We'll create a new blend tree by right-clicking and selecting Create State from New Blend Tree. This has created a new blend tree and automatically assigned it as the entry animation state. Next, we'll double-click on the blend tree to configure the animations. If we click on the blend tree node, we can see the details in the inspector. The blend type is set to 1D, which means the blending is controlled by a single parameter. We're going to blend the animations as the character's speed increases, so 1D will work well for this. There are other two-dimensional options that allow blending based on two parameters. An example of when you might use this is if you wanted to blend based on the direction of movement as well as the speed. We'll explore these options in future videos, but for now we'll leave it set to 1D. Below this is the parameter it's going to use for blending. Unity automatically created this parameter called blend. We'll go to the Parameters tab and rename this to Input Magnitude. The next step is to add the animations to the blend tree. We'll click the plus icon and select Add Motion field. Then we'll assign the idle animation to the new motion. Next, we'll add another motion. This time we'll select the running animation. We now have a blend tree with two animations. When the input magnitude parameter is set to 0, then the idle animation will play, and when it's set to 1, then the running animation will play. Anything in between will be a blend of the two animations. Let's press play on the preview panel to see how this looks. If we slide the red bar along, we can see how the animation will look for different values of the input magnitude parameter. As we move it towards the right, more and more of the run animation is blended in until the character is running at full speed. When the parameter is set to 0.5, the animation is half idle and half running, which gives us what looks like a very slow jog. To improve the appearance of this, we're going to add a walk animation into the mix. To get the animation, we're going to head over to Mixamo. Mixamo is a free library containing thousands of character animations. We have a dedicated video on this that goes into detail on all the available options if you want to know more. First of all, we'll go to the Characters tab and select the character Doozy. Next, we'll go to the Animations tab. We'll search for a walking animation. We'll select the In Place checkbox as we're controlling the movement from a script. You'll notice that the character's hands go through the body as it walks. We can fix this by increasing the character arm space. Now that we've got the animation how we want, we'll click Download. In the Format drop-down, we'll select FBX for Unity. In the Skin drop-down, we'll select Without Skin to just download the animation without the character. Then we'll click Download and save the animation to the Animations folder of our project. The animation has now automatically imported into our project, but we need to change some of the settings. We'll check the loop time and loop pose checkboxes to have the animation loop forever. We'll click the Apply button to set these changes. Next, we'll click back on the blend tree and add in our walk animation. We need to drag this up so that it's between idle and run. You can see that Unity has automatically set the walk animation to fully blend in when the parameter is at 0.5. We can modify these values if needed by unchecking the Automate Thresholds checkbox. For our purpose, the automatic values are fine though. The animation now nicely blends from idle to walking to running. The final step is to set the blend parameter from a script. We already have a movement script assigned to the character. We'll double-click this to open it in Visual Studio. Let's go over the relevant parts of this script. In the Start method, we're getting the animator component and assigning it to a field. We'll need this so that we can update the input magnitude parameter on the animator. In the Update method, we're getting input on the horizontal and vertical axis, which we're then using to determine the movement direction. Then we get the input magnitude, clamped in the range 0 to 1, and multiply it with the speed field to get the magnitude of movement. We'll refactor this section a little to make it clearer and allow us to set the parameter on the animator. First of all, we'll rename the speed field to maximum speed. This is the speed that the character will move if the input magnitude is 1. Then we'll rename the magnitude variable to speed. This is the speed the character will move based on the input magnitude and the maximum speed. Next, we'll extract the input magnitude calculation into its own variable. Now that we have the input magnitude, we can use it to set the animator parameter. We'll do this using the setFloat method. While we're here, we'll add in a way to make the character walk using keyboard input. We'll check if the left or right shift key is pressed. If it is, we'll halve the input magnitude to slow the character to half speed. Let's save the script and switch back to Unity. We'll set the maximum speed to 3 and press play to try it out. Now, when holding down the Shift key, the character will walk, and when we let go of the Shift key, the character will run. When we switch between walking and running, you'll notice that the character snaps between the animations. We can make this look much better with a minor change to the script. When setting the parameter, there is the option to pass a value for damp time. This will add a bit of damping that ensures the animation blending doesn't change too quickly. We'll set this to 0.05. We also need to pass through time.delta time. Let's save the script and switch back to Unity to try this out. Now when we switch between walking and running, it no longer snaps between animations. If we go back to our gamepad, we can change the amount we press the thumbstick to get the character to move at different speeds, and the animation changes accordingly. You may notice that the animation still doesn't line up exactly with the movement, especially when moving really slowly. In a future video, we'll look at how we can make this line up perfectly using a feature called Root Motion. That covers everything for now though. Hope you found this video useful. Please leave any questions or feedback in the comments, and subscribe and click the bell icon so you don't miss the next one. If you find the channel useful and would like to help support our work, you can find us on Patreon and Ko-fi.com. Thanks guys!